Hey guys, and welcome to There's a New Tank Available Somehow, so here's a new video. Now, I want to start this off with a little disclaimer. Do not play the tank like I've done these two games that I'm showing you. I'm showing you because the games were funny and basically I just enjoyed the tank that way and it worked out. But I got really lucky and I got away with it only because people don't know the tank yet. Once this thing is more often in game, they will know just how juicy you are, and then you'll be in big trouble if you play it like this. So that's a bit of a warning. The Strv-K is a tier 10 European heavy tank, Swedish to be exact, but the thing is that you should not see it as a heavy tank. It is a slightly slower medium tank, basically, with a tiny bit more armor. So I've actually been comparing it to the 140 in the T62A and the FV4202, and of course they will win in like the mobility part and everything, but armor-wise, there's not that much difference between them, which is saying a lot as well. Like, if you look at the hull armor, well, I'll get to the stats exactly later, but if you look at the hull armor, the front is 100, that's the same for the 140, the side is 80, that is the same for the Object 140 as well, and the actually Object 140 has a better rear armor, so that is saying a lot, to be fair. But yeah, to look at the stats for the Strv-K itself, it has a DPM of 3042, a pen of 259, an alpha of 350. It has a rate of fire of 8.69 rounds per minute, which means that it's got a reload of 6.9 seconds. It's got a caliber of 105 and a shell velocity of 980, and that is one reason where the Mets basically outgun it quite literally. And that could be trouble, because basically shell velocity means a lot. At the same time, I'm really glad that this tank is like completely overpowered. It's got an aim time of 1.64 seconds, dispersion of 0.336, which is obviously also the same, by the way, as the Object 140. It's got a gun depression of 9 degrees, a gun elevation of 20 degrees. That is better than most Mets there. It goes 47 kilometers per hour forwards, it goes 16 kilometers per hour backwards, has an engine power of 720, and the camo rating while standing still is 9%, and while moving that is 5%, and after shooting that drops to a 2 and 1%. It's got a view range of 250, it's got an HP of 2300, which is basically where it is the most heavy thing, it just has more HP. And it weighs 41.88 tons, which makes it also a lot heavier than most Mets. But the turret armor is 252 in the front, 96 in the sides, and 50 in the rear. And the hull armor, as said, is 100 in the front, 80 on the sides, and 50 in the rear. And the thing is that when you start comparing this tank to heavies, it's just basically it doesn't work. So that's why I've been comparing it to the Mets. And honestly, like, it's similar. It's a less mobile, slightly more armored medium tank. You should not see this as a typical heavy. It's a heavium in all meanings of the word, and I think this will work a lot better if you play it as a reluctant heavy, or reluctant med I should say, than as an anything heavy, because it does not have the armor. Yes, it will be able to hold down in some positions, but you'd have to be in the exact right positions. Honestly, I've not seen really the whether or not the cheeks and the little cupola thing are pennable and everything, so that's don't know yet. But overall, this really does not play as a heavy, and I think that that's gonna throw people off, because they will expect a heavy, and it's like, yeah, definitely not. But if you play it like a heavium, if you drive it like basically a medium, or you tune it with a medium, I think that will work wonders. The main difference is where you spawn, because this is not the medium spawn. And the thing is though, I really, really love it. Like, if you know me and you know the way that I play, heaviums are my thing. They're exactly the kind of tanks that I just prefer over any other tank. And this tank, yes, it's going to struggle if you play it like a heavy, but I don't tend to play tanks like this like a heavy, so then it has more chance of working. The mobility with the tiny bit of armor and all of that together, it's my kind of thing. But the main issue with this tank will be the way that it comes into the game, because it is a snow globe tank, and that means that basically snow globes are things that you need to gamble forward in order to get, or you need to play a hack lot in order to get one. And then you have to hope that you will get the tank that you want from the globe, which should be probably either this or the Caro. Those are the two that I'm hoping for, at least. But yeah, then you have to gamble either, I think, gold or free XP in order to get it if this fair is anything like the other fairs. And all of that is, yeah, it's tricky. And I'm I'm not particularly a fan of Blitz Unfair. I will still gamble because there will be tanks that I want, and I will want this tank, and I will want the carry because I didn't go for that because of the giant paywall that it was behind. So I'm hoping that the snow globes will basically make me a bit lucky. But yeah, it is still gambling, and gambling is bad, okay? So like I said, this is another one of those games that I should not have been getting away with that in any way, shape or form. This is one of those tanks that it is a bulletproof tank, but only as long as no one is shooting you. Because it's pretty much got barely, and well, it's got some armor, of course, in the right positions and everything. But overall, it is a very tricky tank, and it doesn't have that much armor. And I got like so much assisted damage here just for being very forwards, nearly YOLO, because I felt that the enemy was like proper potatoes. So that all worked out. But no, this tank is not pretty tough. Doesn't have that much armor. It's got more luck than anything in these games. And it's going to come in a very bad gambling way, and I'm not a fan of that part. And it's not all bad. I mean, the tank is not overpowered, and that is a good thing. Because we've had some, let's say, imbalance in tanks recently in different tiers and everything. And this one at least doesn't ruin tier 10, so there is that. And I do think that it is a lot of fun to drive, and I do think that I will be happy to have it. At the same time, I know with the way that it's coming, usually if you have like 10 snow globes, you might get it for definite. But that is 10 snow globes you need to get, that you need to gamble for in other ways in order to get. So that is a problem in and of itself. Now, I just want to warn people to not gamble their life savings away on this, because Christmas is always very tempting, because you've got the event where you can spend your free XP, and you can spend your gold, and you've got the auction and all of that. And some of that might look very tempting, but the tanks generally do come back, and they generally come back for cheaper later on, well, not this year obviously, but next year. So please just don't gamble your life savings away, be careful with that sort of stuff. If, like me, you've grinded everything, you've got a gazillion free XP lying around, then by all means, spend it. But please be careful out there. Do remember that it is gambling, and the chances of you not getting what you want are a lot bigger than getting what you want. That being said, though, I do sincerely hope that everyone will be able to get at least one free snow globe, and that snow globe will actually give you what you want, whether it's this tank, the Caro, or any other tank that is in the snow globe. So, best of luck for that. May RNG be with you. But yeah, as for this specific tank, it is fun. Do not see it or drive it like a heavy. It's definitely nothing like that. But yeah, I do hope that I'll get it because it will look nice in my garage, and I will want to pimp it with probably a legendary camo that it will get. That probably going to look awesome. I kind of like the way that it looks. I especially like the way it drives. But that's my little review of this tank. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye bye!